Few seconds. It looks like we're probably live. I'm assuming this is recording at this point. So, hello everybody. We're a little bit late to our stream Sunday this evening, thanks to some technical difficulties with both of the games I was going to intend to play tonight. So I guess I'll have to figure that out. But in a pinch, you know what? I can always go back to good old OG Diablo. And so that's what I'm doing. So, I'm firing up a brand new character in the Diablo 1, and we're gonna delve into the depths of the cathedral in Tristram and see what we
Shane's trying
find.
to say is that his laptop from a gamer of the PC Master Race is broken.
I mean, kinda, maybe, I don't know. My emulator was having some issues recognizing controller input all of a sudden. I'm gonna go ahead and blame a Windows update that just happened.
Always blame the controller, huh?
I mean, that's the excuse that kind of transcends, you know, gaming hardware. Also, let me know if the volume is a little too high, but I wanted to make sure we could hear everything. So I am going to just...
I don't think it's too high. I think it's fine.
Cool.
Please listen to me.
So this is actually a little bit of a redux, as a matter of fact, because one of the very first, I think, streams we ended up doing was me playing through some Diablo, and also I recall that the quality on that was hot fucking garbage because I was using my old gaming tower, which sounds like a jet taking off while it's running, and man, there was a lot of background noise in that stream, so I apologize for that. But hopefully this one will be better. So
I didn't hear it.
yeah, I mean, you were fine.
Yeah.
So some astute observers may notice that this may look and or feel a little bit different than what you might be accustomed to with the original Diablo, and that is because I am playing the Beelzebub mod for it, which adds HD resolution support and a couple other quality of life features like being able to walk twice as fast while you're in town, which is nice. Because unlike Diablo 2, characters are slow as fuck in this game.
Just got back.
But so Chris, how are you doing? Wow, I got a rare drop already. Nice.
I cannot complain. I mean, I'm here. It's Sunday night. We're doing the Sunday night stream. Just want to say
That's
Happy
true.
Father's Day to all you fathers out there.
That's right. Yes, and well, happy Father's Day to you, Chris. In fact.
Well, thank you. The kids made it a great day. I went up. I woke up. I went for my 3.5 mile run. I only do 3.5 miles now because it's summer in Florida. And it's hot.
Ah, yes.
I don't do
only
4.5 anymore.
only 3.5.
Yeah, only 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I came home, took my shower, got out of the shower, and both my kids and my wife are cooking breakfast. Pancakes, eggs, and bacon. Fantastic.
Nice.
And then my son is making 8-bit pixel art, and he get Father's Day gifts that he made. So he made a Mario pixel. He made a little Mario and a big Mario from the original Mario Brothers. He did it all from scratch. He didn't get a template or anything. He got it all. Very, very impressive. I'll just say that Mario's a little Arabian looking, but that's okay. I can take an Arabian Mario.
I mean, sure. Why not? Well, that is very cool. I saw the Mega Man sprite that you posted that he made too. That's pretty cool.
The Mega Man one he did was really cool. Really, yeah. I asked him how he did it, and that's why I said, like, for the Mario one, I don't know how he did it. I didn't specifically ask him. I just assumed he did the same thing. But I asked him how he did the Mega Man one. He just whips out his phone. And he says, "Well, I found a picture online, and I just went pixel for pixel." I'm like,
Yeah.
that's really cool. It turned out really well. The only thing right now we're trying to do is we're trying to tell him and teach him how to not hold the iron down too long and turn the heat down.
Yeah.
Because he has the heat like I think on medium, and we're like, you need to have the heat all the way down and do it slowly. So right now it's kind of glossy when it comes out, even though it still looks good. You can tell that he's been doing it for too long. But I'm still very impressed with what he's doing. Beat art. I might try to take him to a local beat artist here in Jacksonville. Like I don't know, maybe they'll be willing to use him as an understudy or an apprentice of sorts. That'd be great. But I don't know. Just see what I can do. If he has an interest in make a little side hustle. Maybe start an Etsy store. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, you know, I've done a bit of that of myself actually. So if you ever want somebody to talk to about it, I could certainly probably give them some pointers. That is one of the things that I definitely ran across in the beginning too, is just making sure that you get the heat right, and that you're just very like deliberate and even with your application of like the iron to it, because you don't want it to melt too far, but you also, you know, need to make sure that everything kind of adheres evenly. So, and also different color perler beads melt at different like speeds just because of like the composition of the color and stuff in them too. So
have you ever
I'm glad I
how about like glass bead, transparent glass beads? They're just like color work.
what do you mean, like actual glass, or you just mean transparent plastic perlers?
Like actual glass.
So I have not actually worked with the glass ones.
Thinking about that. That was suggesting. So I talked to my father today. Was it his father? And I just
Sure.
like talking to my dad. Because he lives in Denmark. I don't get to talk to him very often. But that's what his suggestion is. He saw the pictures and like, hey, have you tried getting some glass beads just for a different texture and transparency effect? It's like, wow, that's like a really cool idea.
That would be cool.
I don't know if an iron would work because, you know, they're not going to melt. But it would have to be.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a glue of some sort. Maybe you can heat that up and melt the glue so it becomes adhesive. I don't know how it.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be interesting. Because I mean, at that point, you're almost getting close to just like just going full bore with it and just going like stained glass or something.
That would be cool. Stained glass, like a stained glass Mega Man or Mario photo, like is religious. I'm sure it's been done.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
You know what we need to start doing with these is we need to start recording them and making them like extra episode podcasts.
I mean, I suppose we could do that. Are you just trying to give me more editing work, Chris? Is that what's going on here?
I'm already trying to do stuff with Tiger. I don't think you're going to be in quick enough or in there relevant enough, because we're already starting to get past the relevancy for Final Fantasy VII. Because I saw that Tiger just completed Final Fantasy VII. Ah. So I'd love to do a post-mortem episode on the remake, by the way, remake for anyone who cares.
Sure.
A post-mortem episode on the Final Fantasy VII remake. One, because I have been overly harsh in the lead up to its release. Well, I wouldn't say I was overly harsh. I say I was very cautious, cautiously pessimistic. Pessimistic. And Tiger was the big Final Fantasy remake fan, Final Fantasy VII remake fan. So I think it'd be an interesting post-mortem, just kind of where we came from, what our expectations were of the game we got out of the game. And I think that'd be a pretty cool episode. But I'm not going to do that if you don't have the time to do that, because that'd be very funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right now there's definitely no way I'm gonna be able to fit in playing that remake in addition to everything else that's going on. Most of my gaming time right now is just going into the 4-job Fiesta, which, for the record, I was going to kind of take the opportunity with this stream Sunday to continue my FF5 run and stream it, but alas, my emulator was being a huge douche, and so that wasn't going to work.
What ails you, my friend?
You've actually got a pretty decent pull. So, Shane, I'll say what I've gotten first. Briefly, again, for those who do not know, the Final Fantasy V 4-job Fiesta is an event that is currently going on, where you go through the entire game of Final Fantasy V, and you're only limited to 4 jobs.
That's right.
There's a bunch of different runs you can do via the Gilgabot at something like forjobfiesta.com. I think that's the site.
Mm-hmm.
Spelled out. And there's a bunch of different things. I don't know if you can still get in there, but if you can, you should definitely try it out. So I have unlocked all 4 of my jobs to go through the game. I think I've gotten a pretty good draw. I've gotten Blue Mage. Was the first job I got, then Beastmaster, and then Samurai. So having Beastmaster and Blue Mage is very complimentary. So I'm very happy I got. And Summoner is probably the strongest class in the game, which is a game. And Samurai's fighting classes in the game. So I'm very, very happy with my draws. Shane, on the other hand, I think he has an okay draw. I don't know what he's going to get for his Earth class, but I know he was struggling pretty early on.
So, yeah, well, so I don't know. I guess it wasn't terrible. Part of the restriction of this, right, is like you have to, all 4 of the characters in your party have to play as whatever the job is that you got to start with. I wasn't actually 100% clear on whether or not you could choose to just keep them as a freelancer. I think you actually can, but that sort of like gimps you a little bit as far as progress in your like, job leveling goes. So I didn't do that. But I rolled White Mage, so all 4 of my characters were rolling as squishy cloth White Mages that did fucking terrible damage for a better part of the first part of the game. The flail that I got in the ship graveyard definitely helps. At least one of my characters was capable of doing some at least halfway decent damage from, well, what I thought was the back row, but turns out it wasn't. But yeah, so it was 4 White Mages, and then I got to the second crystal, and I ended up rolling Red Mage, which, not optimal, I guess, but like actually it turned out okay. I just kind of like changed over 3 of my 4 party members to Red Mage and equipped them with some decent swords and shit, and put them on the front row, and kept Lena as a White Mage, just pure White Mage, and with like the increased physical damage plus the ability to cast black and white spells, it actually made things significantly easier at that point. And then I just recently, like last night, I unlocked my fire crystal job and got ninja, which I was really happy about. And I had already gotten the main gauche, or however the fuck you're supposed to say that, and the moonring blade, but of course I couldn't use it on anybody, so I changed Ferris over to a ninja and immediately put that shit on her. Spoiler, I guess. And man, she wrecks shit with that. And then that plus what the heck was the one in the library, Biblos?
Biblos, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking ruined his day with ninja scrolls, man. Those things are powerful.
Yeah, Biblos is I think one of the easy boss. I had a problem with for a long time, but I know in my run I was able to beat him with just 2 moves.
Oh yeah.
Because yes, there's one move. It's called Death Claw. That's a blue magic spell.
Yeah.
And you use that, and it'll take any enemy that's susceptible to it, Biblos is, and it'll lower it down to a single-digit HP.
That seems pretty broken.
It is, but it doesn't like carry throughout the game. It's only in limited situations. Level 5 death can be broken. Again, it doesn't like impact as many bosses as you may think, because it requires some other skills. Because level 5 death is another spell. If your level's a multiple of 5, it will kill anything, even if it has immunity to death spells.
So maybe that explains. Well, actually, I don't know, or maybe I just got lucky. I noticed that the blue like demon heads in the books in the library that you fight or whatever would cast that, but it never actually like went off.
Right, because your level was a multiple of 5.
Well, that's good to know.
You'll see it again later.
So excited. Do I have enough money to identify all this garbage? Yeah, okay.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my
Stay a while
friend.
and listen.
Take a while, man.
Alright, what you got for me, bruh? Is this two-handed? Yeah, it is. Was it 11? Sure, I'll swap that out. I guess we could get ballsy with a two-handed axe, maybe. See how that works out.
By the way, I'm still very much looking forward to our next recording. I'm excited. We're doing it with a previous guest on the show that I enjoy having on a lot. Probably one of my, I want to say favorite guests. Put down any of our guests ever. I'm very grateful for all of them that show up. But I one of them that I was more entertained to be on a podcast with. I'll say that. Newest way around a podcast.
I was gonna say, and you're saying all that, and I have already completely forgotten what our next episode is gonna be.
Well,
but that's
it's a secret
fine.
to no one, but that's okay. It's a Fantasy Star, dude.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, yeah. No, that's gonna be a fun one. Yes, buy my magic books that I can't read because I am but a warrior. I only know how to swing this axe, at least for right now.
Warrior no axe. Warrior swing axe. Warrior crush skull.
That's right.
What need book?
Why need many word when can say in few? Also, I don't know what I did to like somehow have the item tags just turned on all the time. That's not normal, but sure. Alright, let's see how I do with this here two-handed axe. Oh, look at you. I wreck your shit. Is this thing doing lightning damage? Oh, it is. Okay, cool. So I think also one of the other changes to the game that the Beelzebub mod does is it just makes every quest available in every single run of the game instead of having it randomized. Which I guess personal preference thing, whether you like that or not. I'm cool with it.
I thought they're all random.
So the quests. Normally the quests are like when you start up a fresh game of Diablo, you're not always going to get like every single quest. You get like a random selection. Like you might not get like the poisoned town well quest, for example.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
I thought you eventually got all of them.
Nope. Nope. It's entirely randomized. So this changes that. So every single game always has every quest available all the time, which I'm okay with, because I've played this game enough at this point that I just want to have them all available for the extra XP and goodies and shit that you get for them. So.
Just be randomized in the order to get it. I agree with that. Like if there's quests, you should be able to do every single quest in the game, every single play it. That's just my view. Or maybe the quest should be. I think it'd be cool if the quests were specific to a class.
Yeah, that would be change things up a little bit for sure. Boink. All right. I think I can probably get away with. Well, shit. I know I'm gonna be coming up on the butcher soon, and he hits like a fucking truck, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it in strength because...
And you warrior, you swing X.
Oh yeah, but I can also use this... Holy shit, actually, this is really good. It's a two-handed axe, so my defense is gonna suck, but +3 to all attributes at this level is, like, pretty fucking decent, so... I'm gonna go ahead with that. I think one of the other things they did too is they kind of improved some of the lighting effects. So like fireballs and stuff like that will cast like color appropriate lighting and shit. And I think you can see some of that red lighting in that room right there. I'm pretty sure that was some added visual effects. So it's a pretty cool mod.
Is this a user mod or is this from Blizzard?
Oh no, this is like a community thing. This isn't official. Let's move that there. Hello? Anybody home? Ah, skeletons. I think, well, yeah. Actually, one of the other things that the mod does too is it makes it so you can just click and hold to continue attacking like you can in Diablo 2. Thus saving your wrists from certain doom. Of course, I just instinctually click, so you can actually, you might even be able to hear it on the stream, but because in my brain, the faster I click, the more attacking I do, so
yes,
clicking and holding is just not sufficient. And I mean, you know, I've already resigned myself to the fact that I'm somehow surprised that I don't suffer from egregious, like, fucking carpal tunnel already.
You're still young.
Am I? Am I?
Yes.
I don't
by
know.
the way,
Yeah.
for anyone who's interested, meaning, well, you.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Torchlight is over 10.
Ooh. Well, you know, maybe we can time that with the eventual release of Torchlight 3, since I think it's in beta right now, if I'm not mistaken.
I love Torchlight. I just don't know if... So you played Torchlight, right?
Yeah, I played both.
I could not tell when I beat it. I wasn't sure if I beat the game. Because, like, I faced a boss,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of continued on. I was like, is it over? Like, there's no credit scene, but I was like, there's nothing really more for me to do. And like, the area I was in felt like it was added on, like it was part of an expansion pack.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if I beat the game or not. I had no idea what happened. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Honestly, no, because it's been a really long time since I played the first Torchlight.
I think I played it about 3 years ago. And, like, it just got to a point, I'm like, I don't know if there's anything more I can do. But, like, it still was presenting itself like there was, but this doesn't feel like it's part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Very good game, though. I think I played as the, who's the dude with the guns? The dude with the guns.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I played also.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. And I mean, I enjoyed Torchlight 2 also. I think they did a pretty solid job. I mean, for folks who don't know, a number of the people that were involved with the original Blizzard North team responsible for Diablo and Diablo 2 went on to work on Torchlight. So there's definitely like a lineage there.
I look up my achievements. I have 13 out of 60. We'll find.
And the funny thing is I'm pretty sure they said this about Torchlight 2 also, that they were intending it for be to like an action RPG MMO, and then that just didn't pan out, so it just became like another single player game. And then they said that about Torchlight 3, and from what I can tell, it is once again mostly a single player game.
That's fine with me. I'd rather have a single player game.
Well, I agree. Like, I'm actually, to be honest, I'm surprised that people are even trying to make MMOs in this day and age still. Like, I feel like that ship has kind of sailed. Like, if you haven't already established an MMO by now, then chances are probably pretty good that you're not going to. I just don't think the market's there for that kind of game anymore, honestly.
I don't know. I mean, well, for a new one, yes, it'd be very hard for a new one to come out and be very, very, very successful.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I mean.
Unless it's like Raid Shadow Legends, apparently.
Oh my god. Fucking... Don't even get me started on that.
So I guess I haven't beaten the game. Because
Oh.
I have not beaten Ordrock, according to my achievements
Hello,
list.
my friend.
But I
Stay
think
a
I
while and
got
listen.
lost in it. Like, it just got to this point, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing it. I think I got that feeling from it. I'm like, why am I don't know.
Well, what can
I
I,
don't
do
know.
for you?
Some sort of problem. I can't remember. It's like, oh, this is dumb. But I mean, up
Also-
until that point, I was addicted to it, like heavily addicted. And then
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, I don't more.
Also, fun thing, I almost kind of wish that the follow-up Diablo games would do this, but they removed it. But Diablo 1 is like savage in that like it will totally just give you complete garbage items. Like this Frog's Ring, for example, that all it does is subtract from your mana pool. I don't know. Like, I guess you can make the argument that like that's not fun or something from a gameplay perspective, but I just think it adds character. Like, because I mean, it's like it's a cursed item, right? It's like a D&D thing. Like, you might find some magical item and be like, oh man, this is gonna be so great, and you go identify it, and it's something that's actually gonna hurt you.
I will say, as a warrior, I don't know if you can get it right off the get, but that's the only spell I make sure to really focus on as a warrior. Is the identify spell.
I usually try to go for, I mean, that if I can get it, and also Town Portal. Town Portal is like essential.
I sense
Yes.
a soul in search of answers.
Because I just don't like things cluttering my inventory. Because you don't have so much inventory space.
No, you do not. Oh, actually, I guess that's another good point. That's something else that the mod adds to, is it adds a stash, which never existed in the first Diablo. It was, of course, in the subsequent ones, but it is definitely a nice thing to have if you're planning on hanging on to stuff like that. It has
Like
a
a treasure-
personal,
I
it has a personal stash and a shared stash also, actually, so you can easily share items between characters.
I thought there was a stash in the original Diablo. I remember there being.
Nope, there
Maybe
never
I'm thinking of
was.
Torchlight.
Probably Torchlight.
Yeah, there's definitely a shared stash in Torchlight. And yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell people who worked on Diablo worked on Torchlight.
Oh yeah.
That is an unapologetic clone. It's not even. It's not.
All right. Well, I've officially cleared level 1, so
Not even.
I'm gonna head on down.
It's just that you go robust, but it always has that central.
Holy
Little
crap!
Oh.
I don't know if it's me or if it's you, but like
I can't
you're
get
kind of
here.
going in and out, and then like paused for a long time, and then it all caught up, like you talking super fast. So
Like,
that's cool.
what was it usually?
That's gonna sound really great on the recording of this, I'm sure.
Oh.
And so, see, the thing with this is that I'm probably going to want to like actually go a little bit further into the dungeon before I come back and fight the butcher, because he is no joke. scimitar. Actually, that rare scimitar might just be the thing that I need, because I might need to set up an alternate weapon set with an actual shield to fight the butcher, because I'm gonna need the extra defense. Let's get some vitality up in this bitch. So I think we've lost Chris, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if we're having internet issues or what the deal is, but I do not hear him anymore. Ow, rude. With your trap. Let's see, what else we got? Dude, just attack the barrel. Just hit. There you go. I'm probably going to want to finish looking up here first. And also I want that scroll of identify. Because I like Kane, but I don't like paying him all that money to identify my shit all the time. I can't remember if... Well, I guess the dexterity helps with your to-hit percentage, right? I should probably just put some into vitality for right now. I'm going to need the extra health. I will take that. Thank you very much.
She's coming over a little bit.
Alright. Let's see what this scimitar is all about. Adds lightning damage, resist fire. Alright. It's not bad. Oh, it requires... Do I get a dex bonus from this? Oh, +3, right. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna have to put some fucking points in dex if I want to use that. So, good to know.
Am I connected now?
I mean, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you, yes.
Okay. I think we might be better now, yeah.
Okay, that's...
Possibly. I don't know.
It's a 2020 EMP. They're just random. They go through. Like, what's that movie with like the sandworms and shit?
Like Dune?
It's not Dune. It's the other one.
Tremors?
Tremors. That's it. Tremors.
Either Dune or Tremors. That's...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically, I think they're sandworms and Beetlejuice also, so that could have been an option.
You know what? I would rather live in the world of Beetlejuice than 2020, right? I want to go to that underworld. That looks like a hell of a lot more fun.
I find it kind of hard to argue with that.
Could you imagine hanging out with like Michael Keaton and like a witch doctor? I don't know, man. I think that'd be entertaining.
I mean, he is the ghost with the most.
I don't think... You know what the best thing about the underworld is? That they wouldn't have Twitter. I think the world would be better for it.
There you go. You know what a great thing is about dying? Not having to look at Twitter anymore.
Yes. That's the best thing about death, is that Twitter... Well, that's hell. Hell is that you're subjected to just... You have to live on Twitter. And every single time you tweet, you get ratioed. And everyone tells you how much of a fucking piece of shit you are. That's Twitter. That's why I don't tweet.
That's right. Don't tweet, not even once.
No.
Listen, you little bastards. Get back here. Trying to poke at me with your sticks and then running away like a bitch. Did we clear? Okay, we cleared all this. I gotta go down this long ass hallway now. Man, I will never get tired of the soundtrack of this game. It's just so like atmospheric. Matt Uelmen like knows his shit.
Diablo soundtracks when it's are just phenomenal. They're so good. So here's a question: what has a better soundtrack, Mass Effect or Diablo?
I mean, I'm biased, so I would say Diablo, but
I mean, I would say Mass Effect for the same reason. I like Mass Effect. But you have to. It's inarguable that they're they're both atmospheric in nature, and they're both very, very iconic.
yeah,
in terms of the game itself.
I can't see shit because of these fucking. I gotta figure out how I turned on these item labels. No, you get back here. Dude, fucking die, you son of a bitch. I am clicking as much as I can click.
I have no room.
Don't tell me you ain't got room. Is it because? Oh, okay, yeah, it's because it was a group. That is one of the things that the mod also added is like groups of like rare spawns, similar to what you'd get in like Diablo 2 or Diablo 3, where you get like the unique named guy and he's usually accompanied by like stronger minions or whatever. So it kind of does amp up the difficulty a little bit, I guess, in that way, but also potentially better drops, I suppose. Alright, I need to go back to town. I gotta get rid of this shit.
You have a town portal scroll?
I do. Frickin' I don't have any room for this. Alright, fine.
Boom.
What do you want, Wirt?
I wish one day Blizzard just makes this freeware.
Hear over. Psst. Chamber Butcher, the From Spell Portal down the cast.
Like
Saying
EA
MO
did before it was total ass to make Command & Conquer.
Yeah. They're like, wait a minute, we can remaster this. I mean, I guess to be fair, I haven't bought it yet, but for everything I've heard, the remaster collection for Command & Conquer is actually pretty good.
It better be.
What do you want?
I mean, it wasn't a bad game to begin with.
King Leoric's son, Prince Albert, was kidnapped. The king went into a rage and
I'll say
scoured the
this about
village for his
RTSs. So I said like Command & Conquer isn't worth going back to today just because you can play so many other experiences, because the RTS formula isn't exactly broken. It's been the same since Command & Conquer. It hasn't changed much.
Right.
There's not much of a difference. So if it was good with Command & Conquer and they refined it to include some of the things that happened in later editions to make it a better experience, yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, not like Warcraft 3 Remake, not like the Warcraft 3 Remaster.
God, I don't know how they managed to fuck that up. Like, they really didn't have to do much for that. Really, like, just
Whoa, what can I do for
make
you?
it
That
look
was the
nicer.
problem.
And
They didn't do much.
well, yes and no. Actually, they actually fundamentally changed how some of the story elements of that game went, which, in my opinion, was
really?
kind of horseshit. Yeah, that's part of the reason people were so up in arms about it, is because they kind of changed the course of some of like the pivotal like plot cutscenes and stuff, which they really didn't need to do.
I thought it was more. I thought it was more due to the fact that they were going to add these like really more graphically intense cutscenes. That they're really going to put a new coat of polish on the graphics, make it look a lot better. And then they just didn't. They pulled a Watch Dogs. And they're like, yeah, no. That's
no.
the modding community is for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from what I recall seeing, because obviously I didn't buy that shit, but like, they did definitely like upgrade some of the graphics. I think the cutscenes for sure. I know were. I'm not sure what they did with the character models. I think I want to say that they had done that too, but maybe not as much work as people had hoped. But no, they just kind of like really fucked with things that they should have left alone, and people were not generally pleased with it. Well, and so the other part of it though really is that they made it so that you couldn't play the original Warcraft 3 or Frozen Throne like at all anymore, like, or at least not on like battle.net or anything. Like, they replaced the original game with the remaster, so like you couldn't play the other one anymore.
About that, that's ridiculous. So if you were still playing the original Warcraft 3 after all these years, you had to upgrade to the new one, and that's garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable. It has been like 20 years.
Yeah, but I mean, you say that, and there's like, if it's not fucking broke, don't fix it. Like, Diablo 2 is still up and going, and people play that regularly to this day. And
No,
you can bet your ass that like if they pull that shit with Diablo 2 and replace it with a remaster that is like inferior, they are gonna have a hugely pissed off fan base, like even more than they kind of already have.
I mean, I get it. I do get it. But the fact that these servers have been maintained now since like '98,
right, is
ridiculous. Like, there has to be some level of gratitude for the fact that these servers have lasted as long as they have. Now, I don't know. Can you still play Warcraft 2 over Battle.net, like the Battle.net edition? Is that still supported?
I would assume so, but I don't know that for sure.
Because I don't think Diablo is anymore, is it? I remember Diablo, the original Diablo had a Battle.net. Maybe
yeah.
I'm remembering that.
No, it did.
Yeah.
It was like there was not a whole lot of moderation or hack prevention going on back in those days, and so Diablo 1 BNet awesome was a fucking like, yeah, it was a lawless wasteland.
It was amazing and crap, because sometimes you could get some completely broken items. They're like, oh, this is cool. Then you go to the dungeon and someone just and all your shit's gone. It's like,
yep.
Oh no.
Alright, so I should be able to equip that now, so that's cool. That's gonna be my probably my butcher fighting equipment. Oh, I get another
do you go through the butcher straight away, or do you go down a couple levels? I normally go about two or three levels down fighting the butcher.
Yeah, I was actually saying that while your computer was having a shit fit or whatever.
Hooray!
Yeah, yeah. That I usually go a little bit further down because the butcher is like no fucking joke usually.
Now with the rogue, he's not too bad.
As long as you can maintain distance, yeah, but as soon as he gets up on you, part of the problem though is like with the interrupt mechanic in this game, like his melee hits will interrupt your swings more often than not, and so you get stuck in this like stunned state where you're just taking a shitload of damage and you can't fight back.
So can you still play Diablo on Battle.net, the first one?
I don't actually know. I haven't tried in a while. I don't know if it's still active or not. I guess I could probably find out.
I think StarCraft is, because that's, you know, Korea's national pastime.
Yeah, I was gonna say StarCraft definitely is. It took them forever to like come around to actually playing StarCraft 2, and I'm not I'm not sure if they've officially adopted that as their, like, professional esports game now, finally, or if they're still sticking with Brood War.
Well, that's because StarCraft 2, the way they released it was just stupid.
Well, yeah. What, you mean you didn't want the game to be split up into, like, what, 3 different things you had to buy?
That's look, if your game is you're gonna break it up for plot reasons, even though I don't like those things. Like, you're gonna make an episodic game, I can kind of get it. It's like the Final Fantasy VII remake. They wanted to really expand on Midgar, and they wanted to make it this full. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can understand you wanting to break the game up into God knows how many parts. I get that. StarCraft is a RTS. Like, people aren't playing it for the plot, mostly.
Well,
They're playing it for...
I'll say, yeah, most people, sure, yeah.
Most people are not playing the damn game for the plot. If you're breaking it into 3 parts, that's just greed. That's all that is. That's just trying to maximize the IP. And I think that's what ended up killing it, because no one talks about StarCraft 2, dude. No one talks about StarCraft 2.
No, you're right. I mean, and that actually is what put me off from it, because I said most people because I'm one of those people that actually just played StarCraft mostly for the campaign, and also fucking around with, like, the map editor a lot, actually.
Right.
But that was pretty much it. I've never been a huge, like, competitive RTS player or anything, so I know I'm in the minority on that one, but I've never actually even played anything past the first. What was the first one? Wings of Liberty, I think, for StarCraft 2. I think that's what it was. Like, I played that one, and I never bought the rest of them, just for that exact reason. Like, I think it's just bullshit that, like, I have to pay mostly full price for, you know, the rest of the plot of the game. But
Yeah, well, that's what I was... Okay, so even if you do play it for the story, because StarCraft 1 had a really good story.
yeah.
And Brood War. Brood War had a good story.
Sure.
But you're saying you say everyone, hey, we're gonna tell the story over a trilogy.
Whoa, what
Like-
can I do for you?
And a story for an RTS should be contained to one game. There's no reason that an RTS story should not be contained to one game. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think that's, out of everything in Blizzard's catalog, that's... I would wager to guess that's probably... It's probably one of its lowest regarded games. Has to be.
Probably. I'm trying. Well, if you're if you're excluding the Warcraft 3 Reforged, then yes, sure.
Well, that's a remake. It's...
No, well,
I don't count it. That's just hubris. That's laziness.
yeah, I guess you're probably right. I know that I feel like Heroes of the Storm never really gained as much traction as they thought it was going to.
Because there's, like, even Hearthstone probably gets talked. Hearthstone is bigger than StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm
yeah.
not in Korea, so I might be way off base. But...
But I mean, you also get the benefit of you know, Hearthstone being, like, on mobile devices, and so there's a much bigger potential user base there. I mean, not to mention it being free to play and all that shit, but
Yeah.
not that I'm saying that's necessarily better.
Oh, and I don't want to hear about their games prior to, like, Warcraft 2, because no one
What?
really
You don't
cares
want to talk about, like, Blackthorn or the Lost Vikings or Rock and
No.
Roll Racing?
Or RPM racing. No. No. Because people bring... Well, what about the Death and Return of Superman? Really?
Yes. What about it, indeed?
Yeah, because people like, yeah, I remember that Blizzard game, the Death and Return of Superman. No, that's... No. No. like when you think rock and roll racing, you don't think, oh, that's a Blizzard game. But you don't think that.
No.
Sorry.
No, it's listen, it's like 80s metal, man. It's the big three, you know? You got
Yeah.
Diablo, Warcraft, StarCraft. That's Blizzard.
Yeah.
And
And besides-
and you know what? I hope that I pissed off some Overwatch fans right now. Because
Yeah,
fuck
they did
you
make-
guys.
They did make Overwatch. Overwatch has, I think, replaced StarCraft as a big three.
I mean, I'm mostly just being confrontational. I don't really have anything against Overwatch. It's just not my style of game. But
I've never played it.
competitive shooters are not my jam. Like, and I guess granted, like, Overwatch is probably way more accessible, I think, than most other ones like Counter-Strike or what have you, but I don't know. Those communities are always like really toxic, and it's just not my thing.
Did you hear that, everyone? Did you hear that? What Shane really said is that Overwatch is a shooter for noobs.
I mean,
And
yeah, kind of, yeah.
people who play Overwatch need to change their poopy diapers. They need to change their poopy diapers.
That's right. You have your mom bring you the bedpan and more chicken tendies.
Is that the payload? Is the payload just, I don't know. I've never played the game. Is the payload just a bunch of poopy diapers?
I think you might be right. I'm sure glad no one is watching this stream right now because we might piss somebody off.
You made fun of my favorite game! Well, actually, it's for hardcore players. I don't care. It's...
There's actually
It
a
sounds
very
like-
high skill ceiling, but you wouldn't understand that.
It's Babby's first shooter,
Yes.
which means it would probably be perfect for me.
Well,
We're
so yeah, so you say that, but I'm like, that's probably the only one I'd be halfway decent at. Come back here, you fucking goat.
Let me show you how much it's not for children by complaining about it like one.
Ooh, wait, is that? Oh, it's rare. Okay, I thought that was a unique sash for a second there. I was like, hot damn. All right, I have cleansed the well by murdering a goat man. That makes sense.
He's a goat. I'm sure that Overwatch is great and super serial players, and it's very important part of the cloth of the video game tapestry in modern times.
It's a very like
It's
carefully.
Fortnite for man children.
But what about all those e-girls what dress up like diva for the likes on the IG?
Hey, don't hate. I will simp for people who dress like diva. I love it when they dress like diva, especially on the hub, man. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I want more diva cosplay.
Yes.
I want it.
Please take my payload.
Yes, get on the payload.
Oh, this is a whole room of fun. That's right, guys. Just line right up at the door into the whirling axe of death.
I do have some Facebook friends that I miss right now who talk a lot about Overwatch, but I put them on snooze because of the current events. And
I can't get there from here.
they really like to talk about current events and their opinions on it.
Yeah.
So I really didn't want to hear all of their opinions, which is like 5 or 10 a day. And so I just hit that snooze button on them. Hopefully
but
I won't have
like,
to hit it again.
Don't you know that Facebook is the premier platform for political discourse, Chris?
It's better than Twitter because at least I can limit who the fuck I hear it from.
Suppose that is true.
I miss like 10 years ago, man, when people just posting pictures of their life and saying, I ate a ham sandwich. And everyone gave like, good job, I hope your ham sandwich was good. Now it's some fucking...
Did you know that ham sandwiches originated from racist culture? What?
Yes. The ham sandwich was created by a Nazi.
That's right.
What?
Ham, Hamburg, Germany, Hitler.
It all comes together.
7 degrees of Adolf Hitler. That's the game. Actually, that now that I say that, that I don't know if you've ever done that, but that actually is an interesting little game to play if you're ever bored. Is go on Wikipedia, see how many clicks you can do from the random Wikipedia page button they have, and see how many clicks it takes for you to get to Hitler.
Oh wow. Hopefully it's not 88. That would be terrible.
Or oddly
Or 14.
appropriate. I'm just thinking about this, that like I'm just waiting for us to export this to YouTube and for the video to get immediately taken down.
Someone's gonna watch it and like, how do they know all these things? I don't know. I don't know how I know these things. I don't know why I know these things. I hate myself for knowing these things. I hate you for telling me these things. That's what I hate.
Okay.
Not you, Shane.
Oh.
The person mad at me for
I
knowing
mean-
these things, if there is one. Because there assuredly will be.
Oh, sure, yeah. Oh,
You know
yeah.
these things.
Also, this right here, everybody that's not watching right now. Waypoints. They added waypoints to the original Diablo, which is super handy.
Oh, nice. Yes,
Yeah.
that does work.
You get a waypoint every 2 levels. So. Alright, I think I get a magic ring as a reward or something for
What's
this.
that you say?
Yeah.
The
Or actually, it's a
mere
unique
presence
ring.
of the demons has caused the water to become tainted?
Yes, Pippin.
Oh,
What I'm
truly a
saying
great
is
evil
that the
lurks
Goat
beneath our
Man
town,
demon was
but
probably
your
shitting in your
perseverance and
underground
courage
river.
gives us hope.
So you're welcome. I took care of that problem.
You'll no longer get goat feces in your water.
That's right. Enjoyed not getting dysentery. Did I just equip that shit? Oh yeah, okay. Well, Kane, identify my stuff.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
The Ring of Truth. What does this do? Plus 10 resist all, that's pretty baller. -1 damage from enemies and plus 10 hit points. I will take it. I will
While we're
also take that sash.
while we're talking about Hitler,
Sure, yeah.
Magic the Gathering.
What can I do for
You know how
Oh.
they changed a bunch of their cards, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
In response, yeah. So one of them, I'm shocked it lasted as long as it did, and a
What's
lot of
that?
people are. So I'm not. It was a card called Invoke Prejudice.
Okay, I've actually not heard of that one.
So apparently, I don't know exactly what it did. I'm not your Magic Gondo by any chance. I just know of it. I like the art. It's cool. But
Wait, is that the one with like the like Templar Crusaders on it?
I sense a
no,
something
it's the one with
sort of
KKK
answers.
members on it.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to know what the card number was for it as well?
You know what? I could guess, but just go ahead and tell me.
It was card number 1488.
Wow. What? You know what? I had never heard of that. That's crazy though. And I'd played quite a bit of
How-
Magic back in the day.
That's not an accident.
Well, no, of course not.
That was not an accident.
That's insane. Like, I wonder. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that like flew under the radar for so long.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I mean,
didn't saw
it's
that.
ignorance is bliss. I mean, there's so many cards that are probably coming out that you're not paying attention to all of them.
Sure.
And, you know, people aren't probably looking at these cards looking for those kind of things. So you're probably not people probably looked at that card and was like, oh, this is weird, just a bunch of ghost people. I don't know, it's Magic. And now that you look at it, you're like, oh no. So that card is they can happily put that in the discard pile. That can mosey on down to the graveyard and stay there.
Yeah, you can go ahead and banish that card. That's perfectly fine.
Yes.
I'm actually now I want to look that up to see what the actual card effect is, because if it's some shit like destroy all creatures of a type or something, like holy fuck.
I will look it up. Invoke red. Holy crap! If you want the card, by the way, it's $550.
I mean, I'm good, but yeah, okay, sure.
I don't. Neither instance I don't want. It's so blurry. Of course it's blurry. Maybe my internet's bad. Here we go. Invoke Prejudice. It's a blue card. It has 4 water.
Mm-hmm.
It has a bunch of hooded people wielding an axe.
Cool.
It's an enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
If opponent casts a summon spell that does not match the color of one of the creatures under your control, that spell is countered unless the caster pays an additional X, where X is the casting cost of the summon spell. Wow.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. How old is that card? What does it say? What set it's from?
This is from the 1994 set. It's when it originally came out.
Oh, so it's okay. Yeah. I mean, not that I'm saying like, you know, 1994 was like, oh well, it was a simpler time or whatever, but okay. Still though, holy shit.
I mean, that's literally what the card is, but the illustration is, yeah, there's no way around. Okay, I can completely understand why that was banned.
I'm curious if like they ever had a reissue of that card and maybe with like different artwork, because like realistically that's fine. Like I mean, listen, prejudice is a thing, okay? So whatever. And so if you had different artwork of like, I don't know, some angry elves or some shit, that would have been not a problem. Nobody would have blinked an eye at that. But like that artwork coupled with the card number and like you said, that's not a coincidence.
Let me verify that. That could just be something that was a rumor.
I say that would be crazy if that's the legit like card number for it and everything, and like no one pointed that out, or perhaps somebody did point it out and just people weren't listening.
Oh my god, no, that's...
It actually is?
Yes.
Wow. How did that like not cause like a complete fucking uproar when it came out? Like I feel like that would have been something that somebody would have jumped on.
Because people weren't as attuned to these, for better or for worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't the card. Gatherer, official online database of every Magic card ever published, displayed the card at a web URL ending in 1488. So it was Magic themselves who made the website that made the URL end in that number.
Okay, so but it's not actually like a number on the card though.
No.
Okay.
Not saying it makes it any better.
Well, no, but I would also argue that if it was like actually on the card, that would be worse.
I mean, if they changed the drawing, I could kind of understand where they're coming from. It's kind of edgy, so I can get your point. Like, hey, it's a real thing that happens in reality, and Magic is a dark and gritty game. It's just one of those things. It's not supposed to be all sunshine and rainbows and like as a card game, it's supposed to be more adult, more mature. But at that point, it's more for teenagers. But I get it.
Yeah.
But when you do that kind of stuff, and the imagery, like if they change the illustration, I think it's fine. Because that's a tactic you can use. I don't know. Everything's problematic right
Where
now. I'm
would I
probably
put
wrong.
this? I
I
have
need
no
to go
room.
apologize to somebody for whatever I just thought. I'm just saying, I don't know.
No,
Like,
well, no, that's what I was
that's so
saying. That's
stupid.
no, I mean, like, I agree with that. I think I mean, listen, any sufficiently fleshed out like fantasy universe like that almost always has some sort of prejudices built in because that's just the nature of the world, and that sucks that that's the case, but it's the truth. And so, you look at like The Witcher, like there's prejudices against Witchers and like other certain races, and like, or Lord of the Rings, certain races hated each other for grudges for reasons that probably didn't even make sense anymore, and there's a social commentary that could be built into that, I'm sure, but like that's just a part of it, and that's okay. And the fact that Magic, yes, was geared for a little bit of an older audience, I suppose, and you can tackle those issues and you can do it tactfully, and that's why I'm saying, like, you could have almost any other illustration on that card and it probably would not have ever been an issue. But the fact that you did something that tied it so closely to reality in your fantasy based game, like that,
Right.
that's the problem.
I want to know who the artist for that card was. What happened to that guy? Maybe he thought it as a card that was very destructive and evil, and that's why he used that. It's all about how an artist interprets things and what they're trying to represent.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that could be that.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Like, what's the worst thing you can think of with prejudice? And that would be like, yeah, that's about it.
Ooh. Regenerate health. That'll be useful. What am I wearing now? That's better items, +3 to magic. Sure. Do that. Ooh, I can read that book. Alright. Excuse
Well,
me,
what
sir.
can I do for
Please
you?
buy my junk. Thank you.
What ails you,
Well,
my friend?
this stream took an unexpected socio-political turn, but here we are, back in the town of Tristram, where everybody can agree that slaying demons is A-okay.
And Nazis.
I will never fault anybody for punching a Nazi, especially Indiana Jones.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
To cleanse the palate, next week I might play some Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah, great.
You want to talk about the demonetization? We'll go right there. Fuck it. I'll play the Super Nintendo version though, so it'll be nice and family friendly.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the sanitized version.
Sanitized for the safety of your child.
Nah, man. Instead, no, just fucking. We'll play the HD version of Chex Quest that came out recently.
It'll either be that or Bionic Command. I'll play the Japanese version because I think that's pretty much Brad Spencer kills the Nazis. I think that's
There you go.
the Japanese version.
All right. I feel like my goal for the stream tonight is to at least successfully defeat the Butcher. Maybe the Skeleton King, but I don't know if I'm going to get that far tonight. We'll see.
Huh. I'm looking up the artist for
Oh.
Not good.
Not good. What? Why is that? Is he involved in some sort of like extremist group now or something?
It's there's very little room to interpret his imagery. I'll put it that way.
Well, that's cool.
Yep, definitely playing some game where we get to kill Nats this week, just in case anyone has any doubts. And I don't know why you would, but it's a crazy world up, and there's nothing wrong with killing some Nats.
Actually, that reminds me. I can't remember if we already put it on our schedule or not, but at some point we're gonna have to do an episode on the original Call of Duty.
I'd rather talk about Medal of Honor. I think that's really what kicked everything off.
I mean, I'd be down for that too. I played both of them back when they came out.
Was
So-
Medal of Honor PlayStation exclusive, or did it come out on PC too?
No, it was PC. I didn't have a PlayStation at that point.
Okay. That's it's probably dirt cheap. Let me look it up. If that's the case, I can always. If it's dirt cheap, I can pick it up. I can comment at it. I've never played it. I remember it just being one of those highly revered games. I didn't really hear about Call of Duty too much until 3, and that's because people are bitching that 3 wasn't as good as 2 or 1.
Yeah, I kind of like stopped caring about it at that point.
I have no room.
But that was before Modern Warfare. That's just completely upended the entire industry.
Yeah. No, and again, like, I'm sure people are probably sensing a theme through this if they didn't already figure that out about me, but I played it pretty much just for the campaign, and some folks might be surprised, especially with how a lot of like Call of Duty and those sorts of games have been going these days, where sometimes they just throw the campaign out completely. That the first, at least the first one, but I'd say the first two Call of Duty games actually had really solid campaigns. And Medal of Honor also did too.
Then Medal of Honor just kind of fell off a cliff.
Yeah, that one was weird. Like, there were quite a few Medal of Honor games that came out in pretty rapid succession, and then it just kind of disappeared. I think it just got overtaken by Call of Duty and Battlefield, I think.
Now Battlefield has kind of disappeared. I know it tried to come back with Battlefield 1, and everyone really liked Battlefield 1.
I mean, it seemed like a cool idea, you know, because out of all of the war games, World War I isn't necessarily touched on very often, so...
Most important war of the modern era, I would argue, is World War I.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why, just from like a game perspective. I think it's a lot harder to kind of be faithful to what that war really was and still make it something that I think people would, I guess, enjoy playing. Like, I feel like trench warfare is a little different than, you know, storming the beach of Normandy.
You have to take some liberties.
Sure.
Because World War I, in terms of making it to a video game, if you want to make it a simulation, it's probably going to be boring.
Nah, man, you got to learn all about that trench foot.
Yeah, no. I can't imagine an actual game based off World War One, like a straight up simulation, would provide any sort of entertainment.
I can't
But
carry anymore.
if it shines some light on it, because you're thinking, like, if you're into fantasy and you're into steampunk,
Where would I put
like
this?
that's World War One. You have Zeppelins.
Yeah.
Zeppelins are your primary mode of flying. Those are airships in every single like fantasy setting. They're essentially Zeppelins. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy, like they're Zeppelins. And these are the things that are dropping bombs and transporting people, and it's nuts.
Where would I put this?
Because it was such a brief point in our history. Like you see the Goodyear blimp, it's like, oh, the Goodyear blimp. Like that was people's primary modes of flight. And warfare and scouting and all sorts of shit. Like that was a war machine.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
Hello, my
But like,
friend.
yeah, you would be sitting in the
Stay a
trenches
while
and you'd
and
only
listen.
gain like, you would fight for months and only gain an inch of territory. It's extremely brutal, but it's a lot of sitting and waiting and waiting for an opportunity. It would not be a very fun gaming experience. Maybe more of like a civilization simulation type game. That'd probably suit it better, but not like an
Oh,
FPS.
what can I do for you?
Did you ever play This War of Mine?
No, is that this war of mine is that the one about the cancer?
No, that one. At least I don't think so. I maybe I might be totally off base. I thought that one was somehow like set in like a World War One kind of era, but I could be totally wrong about that.
It might be something different because I hear that. Maybe I'm looking. Oh, this is a war survival video game. I'm thinking of a different game. You're right.
Were you thinking of like, what is it, That Dragon Cancer or whatever?
I think so. Yeah.
I sense
Yeah.
a soul in search of answers.
Nope. I want to keep that. Thank you very much. Give me that
I do
two-piece
wanna-
roll.
You know, it's a shame that it's not retro because I really want it to be retro, and I may have said this before, and I want to play it really badly for its commentary on war. Is Spec Ops: The Line.
Oh yeah, I never played that one.
What ails you?
I
my
heard it
friend?
was good though.
It's supposed to be a video game retelling of Apocalypse,
Interesting.
or whatever the not Apocalypse Now, but the book that Apocalypse Now is based off.
Heart of Darkness?
Heart of Darkness, yes. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be based off Heart of Darkness. We only gotta wait 2 more years, Shane. Came up 20.
There you go. Oh, actually, I am right at King Leoric's tomb. Maybe I can, I think I might be able to handle that. Let's see.
I may have.
What was that?
Have you taken out the butcher yet? I may have missed that.
No, not yet. No, I was saying that that's my goal for the stream tonight is to take out the butcher before we're done. But I want to finish clearing level 3 and see if I can do King Leoric while I'm here. Because weirdly enough, I think Leoric might actually be easier than fighting the butcher.
King Leoric is that's essentially the boss to the first part of the dungeon. Correct?
Pretty much, yeah. Also, as much as I enjoy playing Diablo 3 because the gameplay is just that good, and it is, God, I hate the story in that game. So fucking bad. And they were just like, it's a whole bunch of like, it's this weird combination of like grossly fan servicey crap, and then also stuff that makes 0 sense and kills characters that like they never should kill. Like it's God, it's such a mess. Not to mention the fact that the writing is atrocious. It's worse than like a Saturday morning cartoon villain.
When did Diablo 3 come out? Was it like 2015 or so?
No, man. It was like the
Come out?
original. I think it was 2012. It might have actually been earlier than that. I think it was 2012. I don't know. God, now I don't remember.
Came out 2012. 2012.
Okay, so I was right. Yeah, I think Reaper of Souls was like 2015 or something.
But that was like right around the time like Game of Thrones was just coming out, right?
Sure, probably.
That was that era of the whole entire haha got you kind of plot telling device. When you said, oh, they're killing characters they shouldn't have killed. That was really around the time that was a popular plot or storyline and character trope. Because they would get you attached to a character and they kill them off.
What you're saying is that I should blame George R.R. Martin for Diablo 3's shitty writing.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can get behind that. That's fine.
Blame George R.R. Martin for everything. I blame him for the fall of modern society. Everything was fine until Daenerys became a dragon Nazi. Then everything started going to shit.
Okay, hold on. Like, in his defense, that was not him. That was the showrunners just like writing their own garbage because they ran out of source material, which inadvertently kind of also his fault because he hasn't finished writing the damn books yet. But
yeah, it was definitely his fault because in order for them to go that far, he needed to be like, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
I guess. I don't know.
Like that's his vision. It may not roll out as much. It may roll out much differently than it will in the book, maybe if that book ever comes out. But essentially, he was like, "Yeah, this is what's going to happen." And it was up to the showrunners to do their best to make that happen without source material. So what you're finding is that the showrunners are not very good storytellers because they couldn't come up with an original way to tell something. That's the reality of it.
Nope. And also, didn't they like, I don't know, didn't those guys get like hired on to write some fucking Star Wars movie or something too?
Oh, probably. Their thoughts were diverted. But I think they decided not to do that, didn't they?
I don't know, man. I don't remember. Game of Thrones was the new Lost for me in that, like, I was super invested in it, and then it just shit the bed at the end of the series.
Yeah. I stopped watching it at season 7. Like the end of season 7. I was like, this is just weird. I think I saw some of season 8, that being the last season.
Yeah.
And it was off. It was definitely off. There was something about it.
All right, both levers have been activated. The way to King Leoric lies open. As soon as I dump that I didn't want to pick up. I am really interested to see how Diablo 4 turns out because I basically have zero faith left in, well, Activision Blizzard, as much as it pains me to call them that, but it's true. So we'll see if they just completely fuck that up.
What about Diablo Immortal?
Okay, as much as listen, as much as I like shit on that whole idea, I'm not going to say that I won't at least give it a try.
So I kind of agree with you, to be honest. I think the biggest thing about Diablo Immortal is not so much that they're making it, as the way they announced it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they built up this whole thing because they knew that everybody... Oh, God, I'm going to get screwed. Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't walk that way. No. I need to get right by the door. Oh, dis bad. Oh, and I forgot, he has corpse explosion too. Oh, I'm screwed. Can I swap gear sets? Okay, cool. That might help a little bit.
Where would I put this?
No, dude, I don't want to pick that garbage up.
Oh god.
Oh, right. Also, he has vampiric, which means he just gains health for hitting me. I just need to hit him faster, that's all. I can do it! Maybe.
You can do
If I
it!
stop getting attacked by everything... Oh, and he's back to full health again. Holy shit. Yeah, that vampiric thing is garbage. I don't think I can do enough damage to him to, like, out-damage his fucking, like, health steal.
I can't carry anymore.
Okay, we're gonna go back up the stairs. Fucking hell.
Is that
Alright.
King Leoric?
Yeah, yeah it is.
He is the...
He's a beast.
I think he could beat the Butcher right now, though, yeah?
Maybe. Might as well give it a try. Gotta go to town and fix my shit.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
I just got this wave over me like it was still the 90s. Man,
What can
I
I
missed
do
the
for ya?
90s. I missed the 90s. Mostly because I was a kid and I wasn't paying attention. But man,
Yeah.
so good. We weren't really at war with anybody. Economy was doing good. Video games are great.
Ah, the nostalgia.
TV was awful, but it was a good kind of awful.
Yes, please repair all of my broken stuff. Thank you.
MTV still played music video.
Yeah, and when it didn't,
What
we
ails
had
you, my friend?
MTV2 to fill that gap
Yeah.
for a
There's
while.
Beavis and Butthead. We had Beavis and Butthead. And Mike Judge making TV shows.
Yeah.
It's great.
I would also argue that the 90s is when Nickelodeon was at its height.
I sense a soul
Yes.
in search of answers.
Early to mid 90s, like that would be mid 90s. That's when Nickelodeon was rocking. Oh man, God, I just want to go back. Take me back to the 90s again.
I want my collection of Pogs and my neon everything.
Yeah. Oh, life was so much better. So much
Alright.
simpler.
Did we? All right. I guess we're gonna wait on the Skeleton King because that's some bullshit. I think I just need to like out damage him. That's the only way I'm gonna be able to win that. So let's go back up and see if we can take the Butcher on. And then if we can succeed in that, then I think we can call the stream a win.
As long as we take out a boss king.
All right. Oh, actually, I forgot. You're in for a surprise with the Butcher, actually, because they changed how that works in this mod also.
Oh,
Which, to be fair, I actually kind of disagree a little bit with this change that they made. And you'll see why in a second. Alright, so for anybody who has played the original Diablo, I'm sure you know, because this is a traumatizing experience for most of us, that this little square room right here, with all of the impaled bodies and the gore and all that fun stuff, that would be where the Butcher's located. But in your initial playthrough of this game, you might not know that. So when you go and open the door, you are greeted with the terrifying voiceover of fresh meat, and then he bum rushes you with a fucking giant cleaver. They changed that in this, so I feel like that element of surprise is kind of lost, which I think is kind of a shame. Now, granted, I don't think too many people that are playing this for the first time are going to be playing it with like this mod installed and everything, so I guess it's kind of a wash. But you go here and you open the door, and nothing happens. And you walk in, and I mean, it's, you know, it's gross. There's a bunch of shit in here, you know, but you're like, okay, what the fuck? So apparently, to get to the butcher, you actually have to walk into his room and then cast a town portal, which will open a red town portal to the butcher's chamber, which is a completely different thing that they added.
What?
Yeah. And then when you go through the red portal, you are now
That's
in a
dumb.
completely different area.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of the things about this mod that I actually kind of disagree with. I think you lose that cool moment. But that's okay. I guess their intention was to like kind of give the boss like a little bit more of like an actual like boss area rather than just being a random room, but I would argue that I think the fact that he was just in a random room makes it that much scarier. I think there's like a whole process for this too, if I remember. Like you have to like hit switches or something to open the door to get to him.
I can't get there from here.
I know you can't get there. You got little dudes blocking the way. Just calm your tits. Get there in a second. Like here? No, maybe not. Oh yeah, there's a switch right there.
Does he still like bum rush you out of a room?
Kinda. Well, you'll see it in a second. Alright, so you hit the switch, which opens, or at least makes these doors available to open, because they were locked before. And then there's a whole bunch more, like, burning dead skeletons and little goblin dudes in here.
Get there from here.
And then once you start clearing most of these guys out, you get a cutscene. And there he is. So he still says the line. He's kind of like waiting in the back of the room. Man, that knockback is something serious, though. Let me tell you what. God, I can't even attack him when he does that.
So these modders, they made that cutscene themselves.
I think so, because I do not believe that was part of the original game. Unless my memory is just totally failing me.
I don't think it was.
Oh my god, you fucker. Stop interrupting my attack. I've almost got him. This is how you get carpal tunnel. Ha!
Now avenged.
Biatch! The spirits of the dead, in fact, are avenged.
Where would I put this?
Alright, let me... Did I pick... Okay, yeah, I don't want that crap. What, the normal cloak? What the fuck is this shit? Magic or nothing, son. Alright, let's see if there's any more
Sell,
loot.
yeah.
What's that?
Better to sell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Alright, I think that's everything in... Oh, nope. There's a chest back here. Shit. Almost missed that. Damn it. Okay. Rare cap. And I think we are good to go. So I can head back to town. Sell my loot. Actually, I want to see if the butcher's cleaver is better than what I'm using.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Did I get 2 unique drops from him? Oh, I did. Wow. Okay. Oh wow, that durability sucks. It's a 2-handed weapon though. Gnarled root, +8 to strength, -8 armor class, 16% chance to hit, and extra 9 points of damage. I don't know how I feel about that.
No. That's how I feel about that.
Especially since I've kind of already got semi-decent ones there. Oh, is this better than what I got? Not really. Cool. Alright.
Well, what can I do for you?
You know what you can do for me, Griswold? You can buy all this crap. That's what you can do.
I think that's one of the things I liked about the original Diablo, is that yes, you can find pickups from enemies that are really good, but at the same point, you could buy stuff that was better than the stuff you found on enemies at the shops. There was a balance.
Yeah, that is true. And I guess you could argue that maybe that's like one of the maybe negative side effects, I guess, of like Diablo 2 with the like hugely expanded loot pool and all of the sets and unique items and all that shit, is that like it basically makes vendors mostly irrelevant.
In search of
Yeah.
answers.
Torchlight did that really well too.
Yeah.
It didn't nullify the shop experience. But that's been a problem, that because when you really think about the entire loot aspect of picking up and identifying things and not knowing what you have, I'm not saying Diablo is the first, but it's the first game I played that really had that aspect and really, I think, popularized it.
Yeah.
And you do find that a lot in today's games, especially like looter shooters.
Mm-hmm.
But it has completely nullified the entire element of a shop out of the game,
What
because you
ails
can
you,
always
my
just
friend?
find better stuff fighting against. So why bother spending it?
Yeah, that's true. Which has kind of forced developers to sort of figure out a different way to balance like their in-game economy as far as like gold sinks and stuff like that. So, you know, you end up spending a ton of the currency in-game or whatever to re-roll stats on the items you do find or something like that. Because otherwise, then, you know, your entire economy kind of becomes meaningless. Which still sort of ends up happening anyway in a lot of cases. Like, even, you know, something like Borderlands, you're going to end up getting to a point in that game where you have more money than you could ever possibly need for anything. And at that point, it just becomes pointless. But, well, at any rate, I think this is a good place to call it. We have successfully defeated the Butcher. We at least took a stab at King Leoric, but he was too strong, so is what it is. No deaths, though. No deaths, which is important.
Yes.
But anyway, if you were watching this on YouTube, which I imagine is the only way anyone is viewing this, then you know, thank you for stopping by our channel and checking it out. We are in fact a podcast, if you didn't know that. So please feel free to check out the show, put it in your favorite podcatcher of choice. Our most recent episode, unless I have some sort of dementia going on right now, I'm pretty sure it was Street Fighter 2. So
yes.
so definitely give that a listen. That one was a fun one to record. And if you're watching this sometime in the future, then who knows what's out by then? Probably some other really great content. We might have been talking about, I don't know, Diablo of some kind, for example. But But we do have a Patreon and a merch store, so also don't hesitate to go check those. That's bit.ly/RHPatron for the Patreon. You can get some cool benefits for donating there if you are so inclined. And of course, bit.ly/RHPmerch for the merch store, where you can pick up shirts and mugs and buttons and bumper stickers and all kinds of good stuff. I don't know, tote bags and shit.
We have bumpers.
We do now, yeah. Yeah, we do.
Nice.
Actually. Yeah. Yeah, I've been slowly trying to add some new stuff. So actually, if you are listening to this, there's some new items out there with the new logo you see on our stream here, as well as Gorp, the eggplant dragon. But I'm not done with it yet. I still actually need to add some more stuff to some of those collections, but there's some out there already. So that's all I got to say. I don't know, Chris, you got anything else before we shut this thing down?
You can find me on Instagram at Zodiac, which is XODYAK. I'm just always gonna plug myself. I love plugging myself.
I mean, I'm not gonna kink shame you, man. Whatever you're into.
That's all I got, Shane.
Okay, well, in that case, until next time.
Play with your butchering joysticks. Fresh joysticks.
Fresh meat sticks.
Yes. What?
Okay, bye.